What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 84 of the Rise to Glory here with Gibraltar Apex. And today I have for you guys our end of season review for this, our 11th season, of course, at the Apex. Today we have got the double-header cup final. As is tradition, it's going to be the Gibraltarian Senior League Cup final against, as you can see here, Gibraltar Lions. And then, well, just over a week later, we have the Rock Cup final, which again is against our good old friends, the Lions. So 2 games against them. Hopefully we can get some good results. Going to be a tricky one for us this year, but yeah, we'll see how we get on in these games. If we just have a quick look, you can see 2 games to play against them today. I'm hoping for some decent results, I guess. In terms of how we've gotten in all the other competitions, you can see we've dominated the league here. I could probably go through these results, but I'll just pick out some of the big results, I guess, really. 12-0 against Hound Dogs was a really good performance. 2-0 grabbing 4. A player who's not had a massive impact, really, in Europe, this guy. But he's been pretty good domestically for us. Got 27 goals and 6 assists. Of course, joined us this year for £2 million. Looking like he's going to be a pretty good kind of signing for us, really. And hopefully, next year, with perhaps a few more openings in the first team, particularly in Europe, he can kind of, I guess, have a more of an impact for us. Anyway, in terms of the other competitions, you can see we beat Gibraltar Lions last time we met them 2-0. A little bit of a narrow margin perhaps, but a good win nevertheless. We also won 11-1 on the last day of the season against Glasses United. Good performance there. Paul Smith, Rocha and Jer getting goals, McVitie as well. It was all in all just a really good performance, a variety of goal scorers as you can see there. One thing that I have started doing as of this year is I have used the instant result option a little bit more, so I've got an instant result skin. I hope that doesn't put too many people off. You may have even noticed me having it loaded up in a few of our Champions League games. It's helped just to reduce a little bit of the grind, I guess, because some of these games, you know, they're just a little bit boring to play. Generally what I've done is, if it's been kind of games towards the end of the year where I'm already guaranteed promotion, I've done them, and I've also done it occasionally just between the Champions League games. I did it for, I believe, the Europa Point and Lynx games here, for example, just because when we're playing the teams towards the bottom of the table, it's just not particularly interesting to cover, if I'm honest, and not particularly interesting to sit and watch kind of 11 goals fly in with the highlights turned off, for example. So just so you guys are aware of that, if you don't know, the instant result button is available in FM Classic. It's essentially a way you can skip a game. It uses all your tactics, uses the actual match engine and stuff, and your assistant just makes the sub kind of changes for you, which is, it's been a little bit useful. If I'm honest, I probably want to start using it a little bit less, but I do feel like for blasting through a lot of these games now, and it's 27 games a year and there's some that just aren't really of that much significance, it just feels like it takes a little bit of the grinding out of it, I guess you could say. Anyway, looking at the Primera Division and how we've got on, if we just look at it here, you can see top of the league, of course, unbeaten, 165 goals scored. I believe that is a new record. I want to say that's more than last year. Yeah, it is. So that is a new record, 165 goals. Also only conceded 3, which is an improvement on last year. Is an improvement on 2 years ago, however, where we did only concede 2 goals. But nevertheless, good performance there. Worth noting, Gibraltar Lions, they finished on 70 points. They lost 3 games all year. They were all against us. They drew 1 game against Manchester 62. And they have definitely emerged as kind of the second force, I guess, in this league. A team who are definitely capable of dominating the other teams around us, but just aren't quite on our level. Of course, we are going to be playing them today. And yeah, I guess we'll get into those games now. We're going to do the first one now, which is the Gibraltarian Senior League Cup. I have already sorted out my team. Looking at it here, Ramon, Tuzon, Smith, Anderson, Bouchard and Cafe, Marriott, Ferrieri, Edson and Rocha with Young in goal. Hopefully we can get a good performance here. Of course, in this competition, you can only have... You can only have 5 subs, so we're a little bit limited in our options, but we've got Romero, Grundy, Russo, Jer and Lasso for today's game. But yeah, going to just encourage the players here, tell them the fans have been fantastic, give them something to cheer about. Of course, taking on Gibraltar Lions, our competitive rivals, we want to beat them in both games if we can, and one thing I should do is I should try my attacking tactic to start. That would be useful, wouldn't it? Anyway, hopefully we get a good performance here. I'm not expecting us to absolutely destroy Gibraltar Lions like we do a lot of the other Gibraltarian sides in the league. As I mentioned, we only beat them 2-0 last time we met them. I think the other results against them were a 4-1 and a 2-0 as well. So it's not going to be a walk in the park. Looking at it here, 35 minutes in, we're dominating the game. But Gibraltar Lions, they're defending well. They're not having a lot of the possession. But we're yet to have a clear-cut chance against them. And, well, 37 minutes in, we are still awaiting the first highlight of the game, and well, we might even get to half time with it still at 0-0, and well, if it's going to stay like this, my players are going to get a shouting to, and they are getting that shouting to. I'm far from pleased. This is a boring cup final so far. Give the fans something to enjoy. Give them something to savour here. Russo on the bench. I can imagine him limbering up right now. He might come on for Tuzon if I'm honest. Let's do that change now. In fact, you know what? I'm going to take off Tuzon and bring on Gier, I think, instead. I feel like his pace could perhaps trouble Gibraltar Lions a fair bit. So we'll give him a go. Give him a chance to stretch his legs. And, well, he comes on and immediately we have a highlight. And it is Gier stretching his legs. Can he squeeze it in? He can. I mean, that's the impact we were looking for right there by the Brazilian. 28th goal of the season for him. A great assist by Cafe, the right midfielder. Cannot complain about that. We go 1-0 up in this game. And it's a little bit overdue, but I'm glad there is the sub who's made the impact for us here. Fantastic stuff by him. Squeezes it in there. And, well, Gier, my son, take a bow. Fantastic finish by him. And we are now 1-0 up, and now hopefully we can look to extend our lead further and just kind of put this beyond doubt and, well, just give the performance I was really expecting earlier on in the game. We still need to be kind of aware, I guess, Henderson there, though. In the build-up play, Rocha, Bouchard, back with Rocha, nice build-up play, ball in Cafe, Gier, I mean, he's on for a hat-trick. He's got 2 goals in 4 minutes. That's his 29th of the season. He's had the impact we wanted him to have. Perhaps a good thing I didn't bring on Russo and instead elected to bring on Gier because, well, he's been instrumental. Cafe with another assist and, well, the Brazilian just hammers it home. The Brazilian combo there of Cafe and Gier comes strong and we're absolutely loving it right now. 59 minutes gone, 2-0. Could probably look to perhaps make another change here. In fact, let's do that. Ramon's had a great performance as well. An 8.1 for a striker who's yet to get a goal is a really decent display. Cafe struggling a little bit with fitness. I'm going to bring in Russo at right mid just because I don't want Cafe to get a needless injury. Of course, despite the fact Cafe is on loan from Valencia, his loan deal does run all the way through till the end of next year, as does Frieres, the Uruguayan who we've got on loan from Manchester United. So really, I want to protect these players. I want to treat them like they're our own. And, well, we'll see how we get on here. That was a good tackle. Frieres, the centre-back, looking for his first goal, I believe, still at the club. Had it denied right there. 14 minutes left. Set piece here for Gibraltar Lions. We clear Ramon. I mean, Gier's looking for the hat-trick. Get it over to him. There he is. He's got acres to run into. Can he finish? He can't this time. Still 2-0, but a real opportunity for the hat-trick there for Gier. And, well, it's fair to say he choked that opportunity. He wasted it. He squandered the chance. Clean through on goal. Just turned on the afterburners. And now Paul Smith is going to get sent off. That was a bad... I can tell that was a bad tackle in 2D. That's when you know it's a bad tackle. Oh, well, in fact, it's not. Okay, I take it all back. It looked like he came through the back of the man. I do feel like if you play in 2D, you might agree with me here. Sometimes you just know when it's a red card tackle based off the 2D. I can't quite explain it. Either way, we're on the attack again. Russo, the sub, taking the place of Cafe. Can he take the place of him in terms of getting assists? He can. And it squeezes in somehow. Ramon with the goal. The Brazilian who, of course, joined us this year for a club record fee. He's had a terrific impact. And he was involved there. Russo whips in Ramon. Directs it goalwards. And it just squeezes in the narrowest of angles in off the post. And the Brazilian holds his hands aloft. And quite deservedly so. It's 3-0 now. We are going to beat our rivals here in the first game of 2 in the space of 9 days of cup finals. We are taking home the Gibraltarian Senior League Cup. And we can't complain about that one little bit. A good performance in the second half. Definitely improved. Shame we couldn't do as well as that in the first half. But at the same time, we will take it. Finishing 3-0 here. Great display by the boys. Very happy with the football we played. And that adds to the silverware that we already have at the club. Ramon in the end getting 5 goals in this competition. The Brazilian. I've not talked much about him, but he's been superb for us. In continental football, he got, He didn't actually score in 5 games. But in the league, he's got 19, and in the cup competitions, he's got 6. He's been a very good player for us. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do kind of going forward. He's wanted by Stade Rennais, I do believe, the French side. Don't want to sell him, though, because he does just get us goals, it seems like, at important times. Either way, guys, I'm going to skip forward now, of course, because we've still got a game left. We'll then go over all the end-of-season Shazam. Hopefully, you guys will stick around with it, stick around for it. If you're enjoying, of course, leave a like now. And yeah, I'll be back in just a second with the second match of this live con, where hopefully we can humiliate our rivals for a second game in a row. Okay, guys, so we're back here for the second match against Gibraltar Lions. And before we begin, we've got someone to, I guess, to say thank you to. We've got someone to stand in silence and just remember. This feels a bit like a funeral. It's not a funeral, it's a celebration service. If you could go down in the chat and write hashtag thank you Glenn Gilbert, who will be retiring after this game, that would be incredible. This guy, I mean, I don't care if you lurk, you never write comments any other time. I don't care if you don't have a YouTube account and you somehow watch my videos religiously. Get hashtag thanks Glenn, thanks Gilbert, whatever you want to write. This guy deserves a thank you. He's been at the club since the very, very beginning. 11 years. 11 years this guy's played football for us. He's not made a league appearance in the last 2 years, but today, in the Rock Cup, we're going to play him. And actually, thinking about it, we're going to play him up front. We're going to give him a chance to leave on a high. That is what we're going to do. It's like the Make-A-Wish Foundation out here. It's just how nice we are. But anyway, our team for today's game is a little bit kind of mixed up, and the reason for that being is the fact that Bouchard and Melvin Thomas, as well as Paul Smith, they're all on international duty, which is absolutely brilliant. I'm not sure what competition it is. Is it a World Cup year? I think it is, actually. Is it a World Cup year? Let's check. Friendlies. It is. It's a World Cup year, so it'll be interesting to see if any of our players really excel there. Bouchard, Melvin Thomas and Smith, I think, are the only players going to it. There might be some more going later, I guess. But yeah, we're going to get into this game. We're taking on Gibraltar Lions, of course. Glenn Gilbert up front. I'm hoping that today he can give us, just one happy memory to remember him by. He's been a great player at the club. He's lacking match fitness. We don't care. Glenn, this is your moment. Take the stage, my friend. I won't even be mad if we lose it because of Glenn missing chances, because this guy, he's just been the monster, hasn't he? He was a legend when he joined for having 3 crossing. He now has 2 crossing. I mean, I think that's why he's retired. He's realised, can't cross it like he used to. We're going to highlight him, number 41. But yeah, we'll see how we get on today anyway. Taking on Gibraltar Lions, and Cafe with a ball whipped in. Ramon is there. Ramon scores. Well, it looks like we should be on course to win this game. Of course, played Gibraltar Lions in that last game. Beat them very convincingly. I'm hoping for more of the same here, and we've got things off to a great start. Ramon and Cafe, the Brazilian duo, linking up right there. A nice ball into the box by Cafe. Back post. And Ramon he appears out of nowhere. Takes a touch on his chest and then just squeezes it in to the back of the net. I mean, take a bow, my son. Fantastic finish there. Cannot complain about that one little bit. And now, can we go on the attack again? Glenny Gilbert, I mean, if he gets across, that would probably be the best way for him to end his career, crossing a ball in. That'd probably be the right way for his career to end. He's on the ball here. Whenever he gets the ball, I just want him to start shooting. Anyway, Cafe, options inside, hits it. Cafe, a lovely goal there for him. 26th of the season. Nice goal. Glenn Gilbert involved in the build-up play, of course. And it's now 2-0 against Gibraltar Lions here. Nice build-up play. Cafe cuts inside onto that left foot of his, and he just slots it away into the back of the net. I say left foot of his, he's right-footed. I guess it's still technically his left foot he's used. But we're doing okay right now. Glenn, number 41, he's in the mixer. Ramon, can you pick him out? Glenn, just get in position for the rebound. What a goal that would have been, says the commentator. Unfortunately, that does mean it's one of those pointless highlights where they never go in, or they very rarely go in, when a player makes a crazy run in FM and then just either hits it out for a corner or just taps it straight to the keeper. Either way, we're on the attack here. Ball to the back post. Henderson's there. Glenn with a chance. It's blocked. I just want him to score so badly. That's the dream right now. I feel like he deserves it. If anyone deserves to score, it's Glenn Gilbert here. I mean, imagine if he got sent off. That would probably be the best way for him to go out. Either way, defend this set piece if we can. Crab, edge the box. I mean, Gibraltar Lions, as much as I'm mocking them, they've not got a bad team relative to, I guess, all the other Gibraltarian sides. But we are on the attack here. Glenn Gilbert, number 41. He wants it. Feed it to Glenn. It's not getting to him, is it? It's not getting to him. Worth noting, obviously, with all the players on international duty and a few injuries as well, we have rotated the side quite a bit. So there's a few players playing in new positions, like Henderson playing left mid for us, who scores. Cafe's been the hub of the team this year, along with Paul Smith and Bouchard, really. He's looking like an inspired signing on loan, of course, until the end of next year. Out on that right-hand side, we've always had this lopsidedness about the side. We've had Paul Smith out on the left, the Australian. We've had Bouchard in the middle, but we've never had a right midfielder. We had Mick Vitti. Who did we have before Mick Vitti? That is the question I don't know the answer to. I guess it might have been Lee Robson. And then it was Griffo. And then before that, Kadri and Drimmy. Throwback to some of the old players. And, well, I kind of feel like Cafe might be that player. I'm really hoping we can sign him permanently. But I think that is going to be a tough ask. Either way, though, it is 4-0 here. We are absolutely destroying Gibraltar Lions at the moment, but we're still looking for that Glenn Gilbert goal. Glenn! Oh, he smashed it over. He had a chance. I was daring to believe, and he's just smashed it over from 8 yards out. I mean, not a bad way to end your career. Right, media have been giving you a lot of credit. Just go and put on a nice display, really. A few players looking confused and demotivated. Let's just confuse them more. That works. Cafe, 3 assists and 1 goal to his name. He's been involved in absolutely everything today. Not a bad performance by the right midfielder. Can we break here? No, we can't. Crab. Herrero. I mean, Gibraltar Lions, they've actually had a few chances that have been shown as replays. Granted, a lot of the time it's been us hitting them on the counter from these chances, and they've not really got that many shots away. But either way, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. This is better than the last game, at least. Got to think of it like that. And they have had a goal there. Been given offside, though. Moreno with the finish for them. Unfortunately, however, the assistant with his flag raised there denies the goal. And with half an hour left, it's still 4-0. We should probably make some changes. Let's bring on Jack Peachman for Ramon. Let's try and get me a goal for the year. I'm also going to bring on Del Sol, I think, for Edson. And I don't know. I don't think we'll make any other changes other than that. Those are the changes we will make. Just looking at our bench there, we've got a lot of strikers on the bench compared to every other position. Not that that's a bad thing. Let's just hope we don't get an injury in midfield. Either way, Cafe crosses it. Del Sol with the effort. And it's been saved that time by the Gibraltar Lions keeper. And with 10 minutes left, I mean, it's not looking good for Glenn Gilbert. He's got the captain's armband. I've given it to him. I mean, unfortunately for him, he's not going to score on this, his last ever senior appearance. But, well, what a legend. I'm hoping that he'll want to stay on and maybe become a staff member, although that's not looking likely. I'm going to tell the boys I'm very happy with how they played. I want to say again, thank you, Glenn Gilbert. What a player. That guy epitomises this football club, and to see him retiring, it's a sad day. We're awarded almost £500,000 for winning the Rock Cup, which is good stuff. Cafe gets man of the match. That is pretty unsurprising, really. I mean, Cafe, let's just look at him. He is something else. I wish we could sign him permanently. But they're not gonna let him go, are they? They want 14 million for him. He's out of our budget at the moment. I'm hoping, we might be able to convince him to stay. Unfortunately, a few of the other players we got on loan, like Mustafa Dogan, just not interested in talking with us to sign permanently, which is a shame. Of course, we have got quite a few players on loan. We're going to be losing three out of our 4 starting defenders in this game, but I am going to be looking to perhaps sign some long-term options. Looking at it here, the board budgets have obviously been set for the new year. We've got £8 million and £74,000 in the wage budget, so hopefully we can find someone out there. And actually, it might have been obvious after January, because obviously we got a few good loanees in. But this year, our reputation has dramatically increased, I think. Obviously, we don't see it, I don't think, upgrading game and updates until the end of the year. But in terms of the players who are not unrealistic transfers, like we were never looking at Man City players, Real Madrid players, Dortmund players as possible signings, and now we are. And that's just the sign of one good campaign here in Europe this year that really has bolstered the club's reputation. It's going to be interesting to see how that affects our coefficient and all that jazz. Either way, we beat the consecutive wins record. That is 24 games won in the Rock Cup over the last 5 years. That is, okay, that's the same record again. We also beat the average attendance record. Of course, all the other kind of stadiums and all the other matches limited by the stadium capacities, of course. With our new stadium, we set an average attendance of 4,000. Of course, our stadium capacity is 6,000 and it's actually going to be expanded to 7,000 next year. So we're not filling it really, although we are filling it in Europe. And actually, I was looking at this earlier. This year, our gate receipts totalled £2.1 million compared to last year, where it was just shy of £800,000. So in building our new stadium that cost £6 million, we've made almost a quarter of that back in the first year just in ticket sales, which is really, really good stuff. Either way, all these League 2 things going on. Here are our end-of-season reviews and end-of-season awards. Paul Smith, 75% of the votes for the Fans Player of the Year. The Australian winger, not quite as good as last year. Didn't get that 9.0 rating again, but he did get 19 goals and 15 assists. I think that's largely down to the fact we've actually added some quality around him. Joe Bouchard came runner-up with only 10%. Did pretty well, though. 17 assists for him at 8.49 average rating in the centre of midfield. And the other player involved in that countdown, Cafe, who also won Signing of the Year. Goal of the year was against Glasgow United by Ramon. Let's check this out. Of course, Glasgow United, a team who at one point were a bit of a challenger for us at the top of the table. They've kind of fallen off that bandwagon, I guess. They're now a mid-table team. But this was the goal by Ramon, the Brazilian beast. I mean, first time on the left foot, 8-0 at half-time. He enjoyed that one. I enjoyed that one when it went in. I forgot about that goal. Either way, though, looking at our 2007... Why would you give me a... Where are they now for the 2017? I don't know. Why give me that? Either way, let's look at the end of season review stuff. Disappointing result of the year. A 2-0 win. Average attendance, 3.5 thousand fans. Set 52% full. We used the most players in the division. 32 different players used. Match of the season was our 7-0 win. UEFA Champions League obviously got knocked out in the first round. We won everything else we were involved in. All in all, a pretty good season. Of course, we're going to go and win the league again next year, and the players absolutely love that. End of season confidence review. Obviously, the board absolutely love me. What's there to hate? In terms of the training summary, Bouchard did well. JJ did very well this year. A player who, I don't know, I've not given him much of a chance, but he might come into the team next year as a centre mid. Of course, we've had a few loanees in the midfield, and, well, with Gaviao leaving, it might be a spot open for JJ to step into. Daniele Russo also performing well, of course, on loan from Inter Milan, this guy. Fantastic youngster. I mean, I'd love to extend his loan to the end of the season after next. Of course, we've still got him for another 12 months at the moment. And Del Sol also having a good year. I mean, the centre-backs developed a lot. In fact, to be honest, looking at him, if it wasn't for his kind of garbage mentals, he's a player I'd be very confident to play at centre-back for us. A fantastic player. Also, Ljung, worth giving a little mention to. The Swedish keeper definitely improved this year. Nailing down that kind of number one spot for us. Whether or not he'll keep it, I guess we will see. Either way, I'm going to make sure pre-season lasts as long as possible. And yeah, I guess that's going to wrap things up really for season 11. We'll quickly look through our side and kind of the total goal scorers and all that jazz, just while I remember. Looking at it here, the board have confirmed the stadium is going to be enlarged by 3,600 seats. Oh, okay, well that's a new thing. I requested it to be enlarged at the start of this year, and they agreed to increase it by 1,000. So I guess they've upped that again. I assume that's because of all the kind of sellouts we had. Unfortunately, we are going to relocate to the Victoria Stadium for 9 months, which is a little bit of a pain. But I guess we'll take the stadium expansion. Our board facilities are also set to be improved. A lot of money being invested in them. They better be blooming good facilities at that cost. We'll just have a quick look at the facilities. I assume that seating expansion isn't on top of what I requested, and that's instead of what I requested earlier on in the year. We'll have a quick look now. But yeah, good to see our facilities being increased. We're due to move back to a 10,000... Okay, I think that is them, but actually no, I don't think it includes my expansion. So that's going to be completed in March. So unfortunately, we are moving out of our brand new stadium for 9 months. But I guess to get it up to a 10,000 seater capacity is still pretty good going. Looking at our facilities and stuff, very, very good corporate. Youth facilities are good, obviously. They're all going to be upgraded as well. It's a bit of a shame that we've had to relocate, but I guess we'll deal with that. We are going to miss the space park just for a little while. Looking at it here, Bouchard, £400,000 bid made for him. No chance he is going. As I mentioned, we'll real quick just have a look through the side and the stats, just so you can see who performed well and where. Top appearances this year, Joe Bouchard with 48 appearances in all competitions, also got 27 assists. Top of the assist charts this year was Cafe, followed by Bouchard. Then it was Smith, and then it was actually Jay Marriott, the left back, with 21. Of course, he is going to be taking up, hopefully, Gibraltarian nationality around Christmas time this year, this calendar year, so 2016 Christmas, which will be good. That's assuming he doesn't get called up for, of course, the USA side. Ramon, the Brazilian striker, also got 14 assists, and Danny Evans, the right back, with 12 assists as well. That's gone under the radar. The Ginger Ninja still got it in him. In terms of goals, you can see Paul Smith leading the way, the left midfielder, with 34 goals. A really, really good achievement for him. He's a player who's still improving as well, the 22-year-old. His pace and acceleration of it, I think, increased by 1 or 2 this year, which is good. He's got some new preferred moves as well. Gets forward whenever possible, cuts inside from the left wing. I think they're just really good ones, and they probably have helped contribute towards his goals, those new PPMs I've been teaching him, those player preferred moves, if you don't know what PPM stands for. Anyway, next top goal scorers, you've actually got we've got a few. We've got Twos on here, the new signing, got the majority of his goals in the league and was the league top goal scorer with 27. He's looked like good value for money, really. Not had the impact on Europe, as I mentioned, but a good player nevertheless. Jer, big player for us, of course, got those 2 big goals in the first game of this live com, 24 league goals for him. He's improved a lot as well, the young Brazilian. He's still only 21. Whether or not he can improve enough to kind of be a long-term staple of our team, I don't know. But with his pace, his physicals, his good mentals, and his attacking attributes, I like him as a player. I think he's a very, very useful player to have. And he's still only 21. Mustafa Dogan, of course, on loan, scored some massive goals for us to get us to the Champions League group stage in the first place. He got 16 goals in 19 games, but he also got 3 goals in 11 games in continental competitions, of course, quite memorably getting some important ones that saw us get to the group stage and then win some group stage games. He was involved in the big goals there. Ramon did well with 27. The Brazilian, obviously, record transfer for the club. Had a few injuries this year, strained stomach muscle, knee ligament damage, but he came through those injuries and he ended up still having a very, very solid season for us. 27 goals in all competitions for him. And we'll round up the top kind of players by just looking at Daniele Russo, the 19-year-old we already talked about. Obviously, his loan lasts another year. I do actually want to give one quick nod to Enderson, a player who we signed on a Bosman in January. A newish player to the side, still learning his trade, but just a very good midfielder. He's one of the biggest earners at the club on almost £30,000. But he's a good player. He's only 24. He got 8 goals in 13 in the league, 9 in all competitions for us. And yeah, really can't underestimate the impact he's had on the side, the young Brazilian. And I'm hoping that he's going to want to stay at the club for the foreseeable future. Anyway, though, guys, that is going to wrap things up from me in the Apex for Season 11. A great year. Definitely want to remember with our European Cup run. Getting to the Champions League first round was just beyond my wildest expectations. And I don't know, it gives me food for thought and hopefully is going to kind of, I don't know, I guess inspire us going forward. It's something to strive to try and achieve again. Looking at our signings this year, for the most part, the fans absolutely loved them, and I think with good reason to. They really did make an impact on our year. And I'm hoping that we're going to see obviously more of the same of our transfers that we make during this summer. Be interesting to see what we can do with the new money we have. Worth noting, our bank balance has gone down as a result of the training facility improvements, which I think was £7 million, and the training and the stadium expansion as well. But yeah, I think that's everything. I've waffled on quite a lot at the end here. I want to go over one more thing, actually, and it's something that I should have done a while ago, and I've not done it in a number of seasons, and people have probably asked about it. And it's the reason I've not really covered it is because not a lot's been happening. But a lot of people are asking, Jack, what is happening with the Gibraltar national team? Well, looking at the world rankings here, they're 161st, so they've really not made that much progress. But of course, with a few of our players now having been at the club for 5 full years, or at least coming up to that, and hopefully going to be eligible to play for Gibraltar, I hope to see Gibraltar get more competitive in their games. If we just look at their kind of World Cup qualifying campaign, they beat Faroe Islands twice, but besides that, they were one of the whipping boys of the group. They only mustered up 1 goal against Albania, with the exception of those Faroe Island games. So that's why I've not really talked about the actual national team that much. In terms of the national team, of course, with us going professional, there's been less of an emphasis on us developing players. But you can see here, looking at it, that the national team is fairly young. There is a lot of good young players here who are like just really upping the overall quality of kind of Gibraltarian football. And, well, they're taking over the national team. Basically, it's a good sign. It means that football in the nation is improving. The regens that are being produced are pretty much good enough to slot into the national team age 17. Hopefully, we'll see more of that progressive improvement, of course, over the coming years. But anyway, when it comes to the national team job, don't know if I'm going to take it any time in the future. We'll see how competitive they are, I guess, with, of course, a lot of players potentially switching allegiances. It'll be interesting to see as well with Gibraltar Lions signing a lot of Spanish players who are probably never going to play for the Spanish national side if any of them opt to play for Gibraltar over the next few years. Of course, it does take 5 years to become eligible to play for Gibraltar's national team, which is quite a long time. But anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up this episode from me. Thank you so much for watching this end of season review for season 11 rather. Next time for episode 85, we'll be opening up our 2026-27 campaign, our 12th season at the Apex. Hoping we can get a good draw, a good start. Of course, maybe make some new signings. And yeah, thank you for your support on this series as always. Good to almost be coming up to 100 episodes. Absolutely crazy stuff. If you've enjoyed the video, smash the like button. If you've got any comments, leave them down below. Remember, thank you to Glenn Gilbert. Leave it in the comments. Don't care what your excuse is, do it. And yeah, that is all from me. Thank you for watching, guys. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.